Good afternoon, Patriots. Constitution Vet here, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, like I told you guys, this is going to be a pretty juicy video. Okay, so I'm going to make this clear, direct, and concise. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this together. You know the drill. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Plus, keep supporting the Patriots down below. Now, sit back, relax, grab your drink, and let's get started. This video is a presentation that I made. You won't see my face, but you will hear my voice. This video will show you how to defend your liberty against tyranny. There are three paths I'll be going down for this. The first path is the Constitution. I will show you a certain part of the Constitution you can use to defend your liberty. The second part is called natural shield. This will make more sense as we go on. And finally, the code. This presentation will be very unique, and I'll be saying certain things that might sound kind of weird, but trust me, it'll make sense in the end. Before we go any further, I have to say I am not a lawyer. Do not take this video as a form of legal advice. That's not what I'm doing. All I'm doing is providing you the information that I've found during my research. You can take this and interpret it however you wish, your call. Again, this is simply what I've found through research. This is not legal advice. Without any further ado, let's dive into this together. There are key terms throughout. If I didn't do this, it might be kind of confusing, but this will help. Your house. Your neighbor, your baker, pizzas, pizza companies, forced pizza delivery, pineapples, the food gods, and the iceberg code. These terms will help you better understand what I'll be talking about throughout this video. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please shoot me an email during or after this video. Let's begin with the Constitution. The 14th Amendment makes certain things pretty clear. If you wish to defend your liberty against forced pizza deliveries, this is one way you can do it. One big pro of this, it's easy to access, understand, and apply. One con is that this amendment is open to interpretation. You can use this, but your enemies can use this as well. If a pizza company wishes to forcibly deliver pizzas to your house, or if your neighbor is mandating that you get a forced delivery pizza to your house, you could use this. Let's read it together. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge these privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Okay, so you have your house. It's your house. According to this, if your neighbor tells you you must get pizza delivered by this company, you can cite the 14th Amendment, Section 1. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That's a key word here, law. This whole time, different entities have been recommending people get pizza delivered to their house, but there are no laws forcing it. There are no laws even by the food gods. You have every right to say no, because None of this is a law. No state shall deprive any person of life, liberty without due process of law. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge these privileges. Hence, your neighbor, per the Constitution, per the 14th Amendment, cannot mandate you to have pizzas forcibly delivered to your house by any pizza company. Because number one, it's not a law, and number two, it violates this Section 1 of the 14th Amendment. The second path is a natural shield. If your house already had pineapples, you don't need forced pizza deliveries. In August of this year, a college professor sued his employer for mandated pizza deliveries to his house. Since he had already had the pineapples early in 2020, he built a natural shield against future pineapples entering his house. His personal baker typed an official recipe proving his house had a natural shield. The employer then exempted the professor from forced pizza deliveries. 3 international studies show natural shields are more powerful than pizza deliveries. Those studies are linked down below in the description, along with everything else I'm presenting today. The code, part 1. The iceberg code is complex, but offers a strong defense. In 1947, the iceberg code was established to protect against forced experiments on humans. In 1966, the iceberg code became an international law through Article 7 of the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. The United States is a member of the UN Human Rights Council. Any experimental medical procedures, such as forced pizza deliveries, is a violation of international law, a law that is still on the books. The code, part 2. This is the actual verbiage of this code. The voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion, and should have sufficient knowledge and comprehension of the elements of the subject matter involved. I'll time out here for a second. If you decide to go get a pizza delivered to your house, you have every right to ask the pizza company to show you the recipe. If they cannot show you the recipe, you have every right to deny that pizza to be delivered to your house. If they cannot explain to you the elements within the pizza, you have every right to say no to pizza delivery. Let's continue. This latter element requires that before the acceptance of an affirmative decision by the experimental subject, there should be made known to him the nature, duration, and purpose of the experiment, the method and means by which it is to be conducted, all inconveniences and hazards reasonably to be expected, and the effects upon his health or person, which may possibly come from his participation in the experiment. If you go to a certain website that boasts on how amazing these pizza deliveries are, keep reading. Because when you do keep reading, you will see that on that same website, they repeatedly say, this pizza is great, but it's not perfect. This pizza is fantastic, but you still need to saran wrap your house. This pizza is perfectly amazing, but there are some cases of raw pizza and bad pizza being delivered to people's houses. The duty and responsibility for ascertaining the quality of the content rests upon each individual who initiates, directs, or engages in the experiment. It is a personal duty and responsibility which may not be delegated to another with impunity. Your neighbor, according to this code, has no right to mandate you to get pizza delivered to your house. This is not a national law, this is an international law. With that being said, there is a current debate. The tyrannical sheep argue these pizza delivery companies have tested their pizzas with the highest standards. Experts agree to their deliciousness. Your neighbor has the right to force pizzas to be delivered to your house. And it's for the public good. We're all in this together. But the liberated wolves argue pizzas that aren't approved by the food gods are, by definition, experimental. Only one pizza has been partially approved by the food gods. The approved pizza company can still deliver experimental pizzas while they create more approved ones. This is very important. The link to this documentation, again, is in the description. Please read. The unapproved pizza companies are not liable if their pizza deliveries introduce pineapples into your house. Hence, you cannot sue them. The top two food gods, by the way, recently resigned their posts. This happened a couple days ago. That's right. The top two people in charge of the food gods resigned their positions. Chew on that for a little bit. Review and conclusion. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is the lifeblood of our country. The United States Constitution and international laws are your greatest weapons in this fight. The 14th Amendment is the easiest form of defense, but it is open to interpretation. The natural shield is a good form of defense, but it does require a visit to your personal baker, along with a test to see if you have said natural shield. If you do have this natural shield, you are far more capable in defending yourself against future pineapples. And finally, the iceberg code. While it is complex and it does have its enemies, it does offer a very strong defense. As I stated before, all links and sources of my research are provided in the description. If you have any questions or if I'm wrong on anything, please shoot me an email. Let me know. I would love to talk with you and work this out together. Now, this video was very different, but I had to do that in a certain way. I hope this is very informative, and I hope that the links I've provided below will get you down a rabbit hole. Now, granted, a rabbit hole can be intimidating, and you can get easily lost. But while you dig through that rabbit hole, you will learn a lot. And I encourage you to think for yourself. Do not be a sheep, be a wolf. Do not accept what you're being told as pure gospel. At the end of the day, you are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Never surrender, never submit. This is Constitution Vet, signing out.